So we just did a really amazing experience. We did our workshop Healing Through Art. We listened to music and reflected and felt so much feelings.
We had a conversation at the beginning about, are we listening to respond? Are we listening to understand? Or are we going to listen to feel?
If there is something I'm taking tonight with me, is the fact that at the end we are all emotions and feelings, and those are the things that should really kind of lead our path and lead our path together as a community.
Welcome. As Khadija said, today we are going to say welcome so many times. So happy to see all of you here today. It's really beautiful to see all of your faces. It brings us a lot of joy. And we are here today. My name is Arazu, and I'm here today with Khadija from Design to Connect. And we are here today with our friend Poppy. That is connecting from UK. Hey, Poppy. And the three of us are going to be facilitating the session together. And so, as you might know, we are actually recording a podcast episode right now. So there's a workshop slash podcast. So we are all creating this episode together, and we will be creating it together in the next hour and a half. This episode is called Healing Through Art. And we are normally a design and architectural podcast, but together with Poppy, we, thought maybe this time we can do something more exciting and, to talk about a topic that was more meaningful to us, which is healing. And we decided on this topic because, we were thinking, especially, in today's world, healing is something that we could use a little bit, it's something that we really need. And a lot of the hurt that is happening right now in the world is, because, on a deep human level, a lot of us are wounded. Our relationships to each other and to our communities are kind of wounded. And also our kind of relationship and belonging to the natural world is wounded. So all that to say that this is how we came up with healing. And we really want through this session, but through the whole season that we are recording with Poppy, to talk about healing as this transformational force that it is, but also as a force that, can give us the energy and that drive for activism and for giving us the ability, to imagine firstly, because imagining even can be hard sometimes, but to imagine and kind of create a new world together. So yeah, here we are with this episode, and I let Khadija to continue.
Yes, thank you. And welcome again. So when we came up with this episode, it was supposed to be on a completely different date, but then life happened. And here we are a day before International Women's Day. So we thought that nothing happened by chance. And as Arizu was saying, we are talking about healing, not only on a personal level, but also as a way to then share with our communities the power of healing and also the become activist in our community. So not by chance, the theme of this year International Women's Day is Accelerate Action. So it's going to be interesting to see together with you how art and healing can work together for making change. We'll see if it's something that we'll delve into together. So I have the pleasure to introduce our three musicians that will uh, lead us to a journey this evening. And we have together with us Beatrice, hello, Busso, hi, and Ash. Hey. So I'll just give you a short introduction of these three wonderful humans, and I'll do it with their own words. So Beatrice is an engineer, a violinist, and a singer. And she is passionate about raising awareness, full of energy, loves reading and writing and being in contact with nature, especially when it comes to doing sport and practicing sport. She believes in the power of human connection, especially when this connection and becoming a team makes us achieving the most challenging goals in life. Then we have Buso, and Buso is my wonderful friend. I cannot hide that. I know her since we were like this big. And we describe her as a gentle wrecking ball, always moving, always on the move, always super creative. She's a writer, a singer, an Afrofeminist, a bipolar woman, a mother, a friend, and a lover. And last but not least, we have Ash with us, and Ash is a self-taught musician. And I had the pleasure, and I was really lucky to met him in a so far concert in Belfast, and then just fall in love with his music. And he loves to share his words and his stories through his voice and a melodic percussive guitar playing. So I hope you are thrilled because I'm really happy to have them here with us. And now I'll open the floor actually to Poppy, who I'll leave the floor to guide us in our journey this evening.
Thanks, everyone. So I'm Poppy, and art means memories to me. And I've been making a list of everything that everybody said, and expressions come up 6 times, but all the words have been around feelings, which is brilliant segue into the next piece that we're going to be doing. I think, first of all, what I'd like to do is just say to you that in this room today, like we're exploring what healing looks like. And in the first episode, Arizu, Khadija, and I, we just talked like we were in a room together without any structure, really sharing, I guess, some of our wounds, and then also how we thought we might have healed in the moment. And so it's worth listening to that, because I think sometimes just listening to conversation about what on earth is the wounds in the first place and what does healing look like. So what I wanted to do today is put in this virtual room two big questions that are the backdrop of the next session. And that is, we may not know the answer to the question, how do we heal? But we do know that feelings is part of it and healing is needed. So we may not know the question, how do we heal? But we do know that it's needed, and we know that our feelings are a part of that. So in this series and this set of conversations, we're doing experiments and also just learning between us. And today is more in the experiment space. And the big question I want to put in the room as we explore and listen and talk to each other is, what is healing and how will we know when it's happening? What is healing and how will we know when it's happening? And I guess the musical experience that we're going to be going through might give us some clues on that. We're going to explore together with music on this occasion, because when you look at the research out there, music is the art form that's got the most research behind it about its healing powers, the impact that it has on us physically, the impact that it has on us emotionally, and the impact that it has on our hearts. And all the words that you've all stated already I know we weren't talking specifically about music, but we were talking about art, is already beginning to unfold that. So I think that's really important to just go, okay, the big question in the room, in this virtual room together that we've created, let's leave it up there in the ether about what is healing and how will we know. when it's happening. We're going to be listening to 3 pieces of music in a moment. And so we're going to be listening to music for about 15, 20 minutes. But during that listening, I'm going to invite you to do 3 things. I'm going to invite you to observe what physical sensations you have when you're listening to each piece of music. I'm going to, and if you love that feeling of the physical sensations that are coming up, just stay there, don't do anything else. But if you want to take it a bit further, maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze, or maybe look at something that's beautiful in your room, or and just see what images are coming up for you. So observe the sensations in your body, and then notice the images and the memories that might be coming up for you. And then finally, I think we asked everybody to bring a piece of paper or something to make, a pencil or a pen, something to make mark on. I'm going to give you about a minute or so after each piece just to make some marks on that piece of paper. And it can be in any language that you want. It can be a drawing. It could be whatever you want it to be. If you're in a studio and you've got clay, maybe you want to make something rather than draw something on a piece of paper. So up to you. So that's the ways that we're going to embody, I suppose, the art and the music that we're going to be taking forward. And then we'll have a group discussion, and just you can share what you want. You don't have to share anything that you don't want to, and see where we go with that. Does that all sound okay to everybody? If you do, just nod, give me the thumbs up. Brilliant. Okay, great. So the other thing I wanted to do is, because we are talking about emotions and we are talking about feelings, I just wanted to set up a group agreement between us. And all of you will be familiar with group agreements because you'll all have done lots of things like this before. But I wanted to agree a care agreement, like we are trying to create, as Ricardo said, a healing space, a space that we're present, but also one that feels like a safe zone. So a care agreement is an acronym. So the letter C, I don't know whether you can see this, it doesn't really matter if you can't, but the letter C stands for confidential, curiosity, and courage. So what I invite you to do is be curious about what's coming up for you, what you're hearing other people say. If questions come up, post them in the chat. If we can't get to all the questions, we'll reflect on them in the future episodes. Be courageous. I think it takes courage to really tap into our feelings, and we're inviting you for the next hour to do that. So be courageous. And the confidential piece is, if you are going to share stories, be thoughtful about using real names, and making sure that we're respecting other people's stories if we're going to share them in this space. And if they're your stories, again, be really thoughtful about what's going out there, because this is recorded, it is going to be in the public domain, and we want to make sure that everything's safe. If you do end up saying something that you want us to take out, then please send us an email and we will edit that bit out. So I don't want anybody to be worried that anything will go out that you don't want to, but I think it's really important. So that's C. So care agreement. Next letter is A. And here it's A for me is about attention. So first and foremost, giving attention to ourselves and then to others. And today is about listening. And I wanted to just say, sometimes we listen to respond. So we're listening to think, and we're thinking what we're going to say. We're thinking what we're going to say. Sometimes we listen to understand. And that's really good, because we ask lots of curious questions because we're really trying to understand and put ourselves in somebody else's shoes. But very rarely do we listen to feel. And so today I'm asking you, under the attention, listen to yourselves to feel, and listen to the group to feel. So does that make sense? It's a bit out there, but okay, great. I've got Buso smiling at me, so I'm going to go with that. R is for respect. And I'm going to try and keep us to time, but I am Bangladeshi and we're known for being late, right? So I say that already. And I imagine a few of you and our cultures are known for being late. So I'm in a safe place, but I will keep us to time. But also, when you're sharing your stories, just be mindful that other people might want to take time as well. So just noticing and observing so that we create space. We step in, we step up, we step back, and we also really respect what's coming up for people's experiences are people's experiences, and it's really important that we put our judgments aside and be here as a friend and a member of this community, exploring the big questions that I've posed. So that's care, C-A-R-E, one letter left, E. And this is just engage and have some fun. That's it. So is everybody happy with the care agreement? Any questions, any hand raises? Brilliant. Great. So that's probably the setup actually. Yeah, listen to feel. So with that, I would love to invite first of all Beatrice to introduce your music and then play your music. And reminder to everybody, we've got to put it in the chat. Observe what's coming up for you physically. You soften your gaze and see what memories, visuals might come up. And at the end, I'll give you some time to make some marks on your pieces of paper or mold your clay or whatever you want to do. So over to you, Beatrice.
Hi again. Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction, Poppy. So I will share a brief introduction about what I will play in a minute. So this piece is called the Symphonic Intermezzo from Cavalleria Rusticana. And this kind of music is the most lyrical moment of the whole opera. It's a sweet melody with a great evocative power. It's always my favorite, so... A first section describes the Sicilian landscape where the story is set, and the introductory parts that you will listen to are like a prayer, while in the second part, the strings play a cantabile melody. We are thus faced with the dramatic condensation of lyrical expansion, but above all, of great emotion. This passage from an intimate music to a cantabile part reflects what we are doing today. So, starting from ourselves in our intimate moment, thinking about emotions, and then going through this process all together to go toward healing. Music will summarize and represents this journey, and also the important message is that starting from personal and individual awareness, we can put our souls and emotions together, like the orchestra does in this piece, to achieve a higher level in which everybody can benefit. Enjoy.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Okay. I mean, amazing. So I'm just going to ask you all to just hold the feeling and turn to your piece of paper if you feel comfortable and make some marks, write some notes, see what comes up for you. And I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. Thank you so much, Beatrice.
Thanks to you.
Okay, I can see that people are still mark making, but I'm going to ask you to pause there, and we have Ash's furry friend joining us, looking very toasty and cozy. Ash there,
Yeah, I love
brilliant,
cuddles.
don't we all? So over to so you've had a wonderful introduction, including the friendship from childhood. Please tell us a little bit about your music, how it came about, and then over to you to play, sing.
Okay. This is a song from Etta James. It's something got a hold on me. It's a very powerful song for me. I had to go through a lot of violence, both physical and psychological, over my life, and it's been a long path. And I feel like this song, with both these words and also the music and also the fact that it's a black woman that also went through a lot during her life singing it, symbolizes a lot for me, because the moment I could actually hear it and accept the joy that it brings, I felt like something had switched into me. Something, I was finally going better. I was finally able to open up to love and life and friendship and just to being well and happiness. I won't say that it's something that it's ended. For me, it's a path that goes on and on for all of our life, I suppose. And also as a bipolar woman, having up and downs, it's really part of my life. So this song kind of, it's a moment for me every time. When I can sing it and when I can hear it, I feel like, okay, I'm in a good place. I'm in a good space. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today, hoping it brings you as much as joy and power and empowerment that gives to me. So here goes. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, no. And I wanna tell you right now that I believe, I really do believe that something got a hold on me. Yeah. Oh, must be love. Oh, 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 something got a hold of me right now, child. Oh, must be love. Let me tell you now, I got a feeling, I feel so strange. Everything about me seems to have changed. And step by step, I got a brand new walk. I even sound sweeter when I talk. I said, ho, 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 ho. I said, baby, oh, it must be love. Let me tell you now, something got a hold on me. Yeah. Oh, it must be love, 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 love. Something got a hold of me right now, child. Oh,
Must be love, let me tell you now. I never felt like this before. Something got a hold of me that won't let go. Believe I'd die if I only could. I feel so strange, but it sure feel good. I say, oh, 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 oh. I said, baby, oh, it must be love. Let me tell you now, my heart feels heavy, my feet feel light. I shake all over, I feel alright. I never felt like this before. Something got a hold of me that won't let go. I never thought it could happen to me. Got me heavy without the misery. I never thought it could be this way, but love's just gonna put a heartache on me. I said, oh, 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 yeah, yeah. I said, baby, oh, it must be love. Oh, it walks like love. It walks like love. It talks like love. Oh, it talks like love. Make me feel alright. Make me feel alright in the middle of the night. Yeah, yeah.
Amazing. We've got lots of love hearts coming up, and I saw people swaying. So I'm really excited to hear the sensations people felt with that. Amazing. Thank you, Bruce. That is just wonderful. Thank you so much. I wanted to be in the room with you. I was like, okay, so again, I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to jot down some emotions, some thoughts, some feelings, some drawings, whatever comes up for you. I think we're at a couple of minutes there. Brilliant. So our last friend and artist, Ash, and your furry partner. Over to you, Ash, to introduce your music and give us a few minutes of your experiencing your music.
And hello, everybody. So what I want to present you is something that I very much enjoy doing, and that got me hooked really fast with music, especially with the guitar. And it is all about improvisation and letting the music speak through either your voice, your fingers, and let the emotion traverse you. So yeah, I'm gonna be using a loop station that you'll be able to see here. And for sake of brevity, because those experimentations sometimes can take me over an hour, so I recorded a small beginning thing. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put myself in a Zen mode, meditative space, and try to just let the music speaks for itself and why it inspires me to play over that. So we can start a journey. Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. So again, I'm just gonna keep you all in the zone of that piece of music and just give you a couple of minutes to write down, draw, or just reflect. Right. So when you're ready, welcome back to our virtual room, our virtual group, the safe space that you've created in your own rooms and here together. I had to put a little bit of hand cream and oil on to just become back in the room from that little journey that we've all shared together. So look, I'm really open. Who'd like to go first with some reflections of what you've heard?
I'm a massive film fan, so the first one reminded me of a very popular Bollywood movie called Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. So it's very, very famous from 1995. But the scene that came up to me was when the mother was talking to the daughter, looking out in the fields and talking about sacrifice and lost dreams and mother's hopes and wishes for her daughter. And the kind of sadness that came with that when she was having that talk with her daughter, but also missed opportunity. And because of her duty and what that means, the silent mothers and what their hopes and works were for their daughter. I was quite teary actually when I heard that piece, and my cat came and comforted me. But what I drew was a stem with two leaves. So that's the image that came to me.
Look, from Ash, my physical body went straight into a deeper meditative state, and I recognized that by the fact that I was yawning and tearing up, which I know is like relief and release of energy. And then when he started adding sounds, also naturally started humming at the beat and at the sounds, which is a very direct way to bring that vibration also to my body, to my skull, and to my, I guess, parts of the physical body that wants to heal with that vibration. And finally, bits of images that came with Ash piece were first a man sitting in a meditative position in lotus, and then I started seeing the earth in a wider context, rotating space, and then just generally reminded of the bliss of the present moment. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much for sharing all of those thoughts. And I will come back to a few things that you said about sort of the embodying and the moving. And it's quite interesting that you got a guitar and connected and joined in. And yeah, really, really lovely observations. Thank you so much. Who'd like to go next? I don't think we're going to cover everybody, but I'd love to get a couple of more feelings before we move the discussion on to another question. But who else would like to go? Jessica, you? Oh, right. So Liva and Jessica in that order.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah.
With the second piece, singing, I felt freedom, joy of breaking the chains, and courage of finally having a voice, of finding our voice.
I was trying really hard to connect with the body and try and most of the time I'm in my head. So really trying to kind of make sense of feeling the body. So with Beatrice's piece, definitely, I started to get goosebumps. That was my first feeling. and a real sense of calmness. But also there was quite a lot of emotion there for me. So emotion and kind of that sense of quiet, calm emotion that kind of overtook the body, and immediate memories, or not memories, but just thoughts around how much I do like listening to classical instruments, and how I don't perhaps make time to engage in that practice of listening. So there was the connection with the body, but also some of those thinking, the thoughts around that. Buso, for your piece, again, goosebumps immediately as soon as I heard your voice, and I had a big smile on my face, and I couldn't help notice everybody smiling and kind of moving. So there was movement. So there was a lot of energy for me in your piece, certainly, and energy, inspiration, and so somebody mentioned earlier, so power. So I felt powerful in that moment. So thank you. Ash, your piece was very familiar, I would say, because it made me feel very relaxed. It made me feel at home. It made me feel safe. And I think the memory that, or the thinking that I connect with that is my partner is a musician, and he also kind of explores a lot with different sounds. And there was a real connection there in terms of what I'm used to listening in the background. And it so happens that he's not around this weekend. And so your piece just made me think about immediately about how much I miss him, because it's not very natural for him not to be in at home. So your piece really made me reflect and I guess connect with gratitude for what we have at home. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Lovely. Anybody else want to say something? What came up from them? I'm looking at the husbands room. We've got Ricardo over there and we've got John over there. All three husbands of the presenters are in the room, by the way. I feel like they should say something. Over to you, Ricardo. You've come off of mute first, and then we'll go to John.
It was his hand. It's my hand. I want to say apologize for my English. It's not very good, but I try to tell you something in simple word. When Beatrice start to playing music, I'm start to connect to now, and this is my feeling at that time. You can.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah.
It's starting from this point and going, and here I'm lost myself. Then Busso start to singing. I try to feel this.
Love it. Love it.
When I listen to the music of Ash, I start to dancing. I close my eyes and I try to write the word of dance in my language, the Persian.
Stunning. And three pieces of art that Khadija can now put up on the wall.
From the piece of Beatrice, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like there was the realization of a hole that there was in myself, like a missing part at the top of my stomach that was getting filled with the music. So it was a very contrasting feeling, because I was feeling the pain of knowing that there was a void, but the hope of knowing that it was getting filled. From Busso, also a very unexpected feeling. There is a term in French that is called frisson. I don't know if I pronounced it correct, which is the shivers that you get from music. Only French could have that word. And I felt it like, when two strings resonate, they have the same frequency and they resonate. So it felt at some very specific notes, I felt that shiver on my skin. And it felt like, also sharing your story in the background of the song, you know, when you touch an old scar on your skin, so the beautiful feeling of knowing that it's past, but the memory of something that hurted you, you know.
Thank you so much, you two. Thank you so much. John, over to you.
Thank you. I'm not going to share my drawings after seeing yours. They're not pieces of art to put on the wall. But Beatrice, that piece of music, I had no idea what you were going to do, and it completely caught me off guard. And I think what you were just sharing there, Ricardo, about it was unexpected every time a new piece of music came, it was unexpected. You completely blew me away. And from sitting here and listening to everybody talk to suddenly that happening, and in a very intimate way. I'm not sure where you are, but in my head, you're sat in your living room, and in that moment, I'm sat at the table opposite you with a cup of tea, just absorbed in that, and it was phenomenal. And where it took me was I started thinking about my niece, who's having a challenging time at the moment, and it just my heart was swelling up with feelings for her, and then also building with hope and love as well. So, and then I felt incredibly tearful. So thank you so much for that. That was phenomenal, and just a sense of joy that came from it. And what I saw was waves, just a continuous waves, which I had a go at sort of marking out for myself. And then Buso, again, I was still probably drifting a bit from that experience. And then you were talking and you were very quiet on my screen. And then out of nowhere, your phenomenal power just came at me. It was brilliant. I loved it. And my whole body just vibrated to that and woke up. I felt really energized. I saw this big pulsing light that was just getting bigger and bigger, and soaring. And I felt a real sense of power from you, and that you were sharing that. And that was, yeah, that was wonderful. And I felt really joyous and uplifted as well. So again, thank you for that. Um, and then Ash. I found myself at first, I couldn't settle, and that's not your music, that was my body. I just couldn't find my comfort in it. And I was feeling really thrown because your vibe and your art and your creation is very thoughtful, and I could get that, but my body wouldn't settle. I'm not sure why. And then finally, as you were strumming the guitar more, I then finally closed my eyes. And then I got all of these images of stars and what I saw was, on the nature programs where mushrooms fire their spores and they do those very slow images of you so you can see it. That's what I kept seeing. Um, yeah, and then by the end of it, my body was so settled, I was just sunken into this chair. So again, thank you so much. Um, so I've been on a real journey. I've loved it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, John. Yeah. So look, I'm not going to meaning make out of everything that has happened in the last 40 minutes. But I will want to invite a few reflections from our artists, just short reflections, because we've got about 9 minutes and I'm sure we can go over time a little bit. But I'd like to just say the three things that have come up for me. That big question that I posed at the beginning, what is healing and how do we know when it's happening? I wonder whether the visualizations, the unexpected feelings, the art that came out of us, the memories of family members, the metaphors of music, and films and scenes in films, the shivery feeling, the stomach, compression on your chest, but your stomach filling up. I wonder whether all of those experiences is how we know when healing is happening. And I'm not going to make meaning out of it, and I don't think everybody should be like, we need to get into big discussions, but I think that's something that I would like to ponder and process on my own over the next few days, but also with Arizu and Khadija, is did we just experience in real life together healing? Some of us got up and got guitars, others all danced together at a period of time and nodded together. Others felt a reminder of lovers and partners. And I wonder, when we notice what's going on in our bodies, because we've created a conscious moment intentionally, and we're looking into the pain and simultaneously filling up with hope, which is, I think, what Ricardo said. I wonder whether that is healing, when we can hold two very different emotions that on the surface look like they're opposite, but we can hold all of that in our bodies at the same time, and sometimes shiver, sometimes weep, sometimes zone out. So that's something that's emerging for me in terms of this healing session. The other thing I wanted to say was, a lot of people shared that they felt shivery or they couldn't settle and their body moved because, you know, I mean, if I go to John, the first memory that came up was, you know, our niece, and then the last memory, the ending bit, the third piece of music, you weren't settling, and I wondered whether, you know, I did a little bit of reading around trauma in during the pandemic, and what I heard is that, you know, when animals are frightened, and there's a few pet friends on the screen, and they shiver, the whole body physically vibrates, and when we've got a fright, we startle, and then we might also shake, and it might feel like coldness. In Western medicine, you know, we're given blankets and we're like, oh, we're told to actually warm up and stop shivering. But actually, a lot of research has showed that when we move and when we're shaking after a frightening experience, after a traumatic experience, the actual trauma is moving through our body, because there's something physiologically happening when we are shaking that is our body's processing trauma. So that's another bit of insight that I offer you, is I wonder, the urge to move, having a memory that was that was upsetting, and then not being able to settle and wanting to move, and hopefully release some of the energy from our physical selves, is also us healing. And maybe that's why we all love to dance, or most of us love to dance so much, whether it's in our room or on our, like, we love, you know, it's so moving and free, you know, moving our bodies to free up our mind is often said in so many different ways in lots of different cultures. So those are two early thoughts. And then the third thought that I wanted to say was, you know, so often in life we talk about not having time. Everybody's rushing, and if you've all got little ones and jobs, and, you know, we're always rushing, and time is never, there's never seems to be enough time. But what I've learned is there's always moments. There's never enough time, but there's always moments. And I guess today we experience several moments together in listening to each other, listening to music. And I do, as I'm getting older, like, the more I'm trying to sort of capture life and what does art mean to me, and I said it was memories, I'm also trying to recognize the moments in each of my day that stay regardless of the rushiness. And I've, you know, also had periods of life where I've just rushed and never recognized any moments. And that feels like not healing to me. That feels like I've lost periods of life that I've never really connected with. So maybe that's another way to notice that we are healing. So with those 3 points, I think I'm just going to leave it there and hand back to you, to Arizu and Khadija, to bring us to an end. But also, can we just go to our 3 musicians, and maybe if we go to the through the order, so go to Beatricia first, and then Buso, and then Ash, to just say a few words, and then over to you, Arizo and Khadija. Is that okay? Okay. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for participating in this experiment with us. I've really loved it.
Okay, so thank you to all for sharing all your thoughts and emotions and feelings. It was very nice to hearing from you. And what I would like to share about living the present moment. So linking about the last topic that Poppy wondered about before. When I play, I really live the moment because I will never play like that anymore. So I played the music before this podcast, and it was different than the one that I played during the registration, the recording here. So this is something I always think about because music really allow you to understand the moment. So thank you so much. And I think that healing is something similar because maybe you can realize it through the moment, to the present moment, and then you just realize it at the end of the process. So it's something so difficult to explain. But thank you so much. Really, it was a pleasure for me to be part of this journey with you.
I'm very moved right now. I want to thank all of you. Just hearing what you shared really made me feel seen, and at the same time, I felt connected to all you. I'm just gonna be very fast, but for Beatrice, I was really overwhelmed. I mean, I was like, "Wow, what is happening right now?" And it was a very pleasant way of being overwhelmed. So I think that's really something really powerful because usually we are not comfortable with being overwhelming. It means that it's too much, but that was a good too much actually. And for Ash, I think the only thing I brought down was ancestral. I felt like I don't know, like something of a million years was going on, and I could feel all of it at the same time. And at the same time, it was really here, and I was with you all. And I don't know, I don't know if it makes sense, but it was really amazing for me, and I felt really, I don't know, I'm really really grateful for this, for what is going on, and for what we done tonight, and I'm feeling very, I don't know, just really moved by your own words, and to feel that I could do that with you, it's really powerful for me. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you so much.
I'll thank you also, everybody, because it is not something that, as like artist, musician, we get to experiment very often either, which is like direct feedbacks from people listening and sharing their emotion, where they see what they feel and what it creates in them. So thank you for that, because yeah, I'll definitely cherish that moment. And yeah, it connects for me. It connect also to how I healed personally my voice, which I was complex about it for 10 years. And the short story is basically going and singing in front of people, even though it was terrifying and horrifying for me at first. It's the people that helped me accept my voice and heal and not get rid, but accept the voice I have and to keep sharing with others. And yeah, tonight I made that connection again of what it means to play music is not just for me, even though it feels very nice, but it is to share the stories and share my own experience, how I feel and how I like I express things in life through music, and to give it and receive back. And we receive so much back, guys, you have no idea. So yeah, a massive thank you to all of you, and thank you, Poppy, for mastering this moment. And thank you, Arizu and Khadija, for having me too. It was a real treat. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for all of you for joining. I really, really, really feel really grateful to have been alive in this moment. I think life is about these moments of connection, and I think we are here to do this, to to join with each other, to be in the same level, talk and share our emotions and just be ourselves. I think this is the meaning of life, to heal together, help each other heal. It's tough sometimes, life, so I think we really need spaces like this and each other. Like the thing that came up for me the most was feeling of connection and gratefulness throughout all of the different musics. Like with Beatrice, I felt this really deep gratefulness and connection to all humanity. With Busso, I felt a hopeful connection, like as if things can be tough, but we got this when we are together. And with Ash, I felt the connection to our planet, especially like the last breath that he took. I just went inside the soil. And I don't know. I'm just grateful. I'm grateful, and thank you for all of you to be here. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to be in a space with all of you. I let Khadija close.
So thank you again for being here with us and for experiencing this amazing journey through music. We hope that you'll have more moments when we are rushing. Just remember Poppy's words. Take some moments sometimes. So as we told you earlier, of course, let us know if there is something you don't want to be shared online or posted. And of course, we'll let you know when the episode comes out. And thank you very much. And I think we wish you a pleasant Women's Day and a nice weekend.
Yeah. And you can find some links in the chat.
Yeah, we will send them to you as well.
The husbands are sending love, and Giacomo is sending love in a Gen Z way. So
thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a really lovely weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye bye.
Ciao.
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 Ciao, husband.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Ciao.